It's 11:02 in the studios of Win FM 98.9. And I'm bidding one and all a very pleasant morning. Welcome to another episode of Voices. My name is Socrates, host of today's program. I want to wish a very pleasant morning to all our listeners and those on the various viewing platforms. Wherever you are around the world, it's another beautiful Monday in the Federation of St. Christopher Nevis. We've had lots of rain over the weekend and people are in the right mood, etc. Another Monday. There's a song called Monday Morning Blues. I really don't think we have a lot of that going on, but I want to say good morning to all the folks out there in the security, those in the medical field, sanitation, just about everybody within the Federation and beyond under the ambit of WinFM. We're going to pause for a word or two from our kind sponsors, and then we get back into the program. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Jean, every time I call you, it's always about something good.
What going on?
Well, the TDC retail stores in St. Kitts and Nevis are at it again. Their new stocks have arrived.
Really?
Yes, new furniture, printers, toys, appliances, electronics, housewares, even decorations, and so much more. New is in.
So, girl Betty, when we going?
You know me, I don't miss a beat when it comes to TDC. I'm getting ready to go to TDC Automotive, the Business Center, and the Home and Building Depot now. And next week, we're definitely going over to CDS Nevis to see what they have over there too.
Betty, me I'm here. Betty, you gone?
Feel the magic happening.
Campari.
Taste.
Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
So welcome back to Voices, and here's the story. I had a guest this morning who had a last-minute situation, and so they cancelled/postponed, hopefully until next episode. So in the meantime, I'm free. It's going to be free for all this morning, and we have a variety of topics we want to entertain discussion on. One could be the monies already secured paid by the Prime Minister for securing thousands of anti-COVID vaccine doses. I mean, we can have a whole debate on that whole vaccination issue. We also have possibly as a topic the live streaming of a Calypso show held on Saturday evening from Carnival City. For those who were able to view it, I've heard some very complimentary remarks regarding the show. Anybody want to call in and weigh in on and we have a caller as we speak. Good morning, caller. You're the first on Voices today. How may we help you? Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices, yes?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm splendid.
Okay, I want to congratulate Mr. Amory for the bakery
Yes.
for giving out these lunches. But as Ms. Henry stated, I think it's Thursday or Friday. Some of us are not appreciative. Some of us are not appreciative in whatever the gesture the gentleman was doing.
Okay.
And it's so sad. And also to Skelek, I don't think people recognize them. They only recognize Skelek when they don't have no electricity. And some of us need to take a time out when the fellas are going up into Otley's level to see the danger that these fellas go through. It's a risky job, and it's scary as well. So kudos to the two firms. Good morning.
Splendid. So let's segue a bit. We had our first call speaking about giving kudos and congratulations to Mr. Amri on the fact that he was given out X amount of dinners. I think he just celebrated his birthday. And of course, this is an annual event where the good gentleman gives back to the community at large. And you are never going to be in a position to please everybody all the time. You're going to have the feedback, the negatives, but once the positive outshines that, you would have made your mark. So congratulations from the studios of NFM to Mr. Amri on your many ventures. Congratulations on your birthday. As relates to Skellig and the power outages that the country suffered, I think it was Thursday, many folks were affected in many ways, more ways than one. I want to thank them for the timely response in restoring electricity. The public relation program was very spot on. You had updated information as to when, what areas, because there was a rumor, actually. I was called and told that there'll be no power restored in the Federation until today, Monday. And so people were looking to stock up on ice and stuff like that. But fortunately, on Saturday morning, I think it was a Friday morning, there was a bulletin and a news item saying that, okay, we're restoring power from phase this and that and that. So we were able to have, as a result, I was really concerned about that, the Calypso tent being hosted. And I must give congratulations to the new carnival chair, Dame Shannon Harley, for being able to pull off what was the first virtual Calypso tent. Lots of feedback on the stage setting. It was a rustic backyard sort of background that many persons who called in said they felt a connection with being home. Speaking of which, we want to say good morning to Mr. Chris Collins up there in Sheffield, to Avril, DJ Avril, and to Mr. DJ Mauricio. He's actually here in the Federation. I'm hoping to have him on next week to speak about his experience having flown in and having to go into quarantine at a facility. And then New York Joe, who celebrated his birthday recently. We want to say good morning to one and all. Dr. Sweeney, good morning also. And so, yes, those folks who were able to pick up the live free streaming, it was done at no cost to the public. I want to thank them for that. The review has been great, but I need to hear from the public, those who were able to see it and give feedback. The numbers to call are 466-0989, 762-0989, 662-0989, 718-265-6948 from the New York area. From Florida, we've got 508-921-4619. From the UK, 0333-044-0065. Feel free to call and give way on any topic you choose. I sort of dropped you up there. The fact that the Prime Minister was able to declare paying over $800,000 US to secure thousands of vaccines for the Federation. That's a whole debate. You have divas saying, no to your vaccination. So this is very interesting development. We had some lovely songs out there. From the Legends lineup, because we were on Saturday night, due to the fact that it had to be stage managed with, it was very well done. We were not able to run as many Calypsonians as we would have liked, but it was a Calypso tent. And you had the fun element, you had the serious element in terms of the songs. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think the next one we're going to be on the 21st, when the Grandmasters will be bringing on this slate of Calypsonians. So if you've missed the first one, please. Now, there was a discussion as to whether or not members of the public should be allowed at the venue. We had to go under the protocols that was promised to the NEOC. The distance in the mask wearing, all the safety protocols but there's a popular opinion that they can perhaps for the next show or the others going forward entertain a certain amount of members or persons from the public. So we're looking forward to that. That's on the 21st. I went by King Rockefeller a while ago. He says he'll be there. So I promise I'm going to come by and hear what you have to sing. Right? So, as I mentioned, today is free for all. You may call in and discuss whatever topics you want to choose. So yes, back to the carnival cheer. It was a hard-fought battle to get that staging in place. I stopped by earlier in the day, the day before the rain. I saw them rigging the stage. I think Banker from Banker Mass Camp comes in for a lot of praise. It was, I think, his concept from 2015, if I'm not mistaken. It was supposed to be a snapshot on our culture or something like that. So he can call in and correct me if I'm wrong and speak about what happened on that night. Viewed around the world, and everybody was looking at it and saying it's a great stage. The Calypsonians were complimented. A certain person told me that the female Calypsonians were the one who carried the day. I mean, I asked nothing about that because... for those who expected me to perform, I too expected to perform on that night, but due to the power outage on Thursday, I was denied rehearsal. So that was the reason why I didn't make an appearance in the competition. But we had on stage Jack Spanner, Neglector, Mighty J, Lord Payne, Lucius, Singing Sensation, Diva, Lady Diva, Brown Sugar, Hot Rod. They were the ones who carried the night. The band, their reviews on the band is a new band in terms of the makeup, the structure, their four horns, new band leader, and they too would have garnered various comments. So that's that. That was that on Saturday night last. So, Virtual Calypso tent, yep, we covered that. Related birthday beating to New York Joe, we covered that. And we have somebody asked me to comment on the house slide. I don't have a whole lot of information on that. I was actually from Timothy Hill when I saw the commotion, and by the time with the power outage and the rain, I couldn't glean much information. But I want to say good morning to Amber Hodge-Lewis down there in Anguilla. She's logged on and want us to know that she's attuned to what's happening in St. Kitts. And in Antigua, we've got Sassy, journalist, Calypsonian. She's also logged on and in tune what's happening here in the Federation. So around the globe, we're here at WinFM 98.9. And the numbers, if you wish to call again, 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989. Those are local numbers from the New York area. Overseas line, we got 718-265-6984, 508-921-4619. From the UK, 0333-044-0065. Okay. Yes, so we had a call this morning that spoke about recognizing the works of Mr. Amory. The dinners he's given to the public. I know he gives away free bread to the public, not to give him extra mileage, but of course, if you are doing that well, while you're getting criticism, you ought to be giving your kudos. So once again, congratulations to Mr. Amory and to the folks at Skellig who did, in this lady's opinion, a human job, human service in restoring the electricity to the Federation when we needed it most. And what about now? I'm going to signal the chap on the board to take us back to a word from our sponsors. Thank you very much.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hey kids, drink healthy.
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste.
Lots of magic fruity flavors drink from more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, yummy.
25% less sugar, chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar, chubby, keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, yummy.
25% less sugar, chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
Are you wondering what to do this holiday season? Will it be the same? Will you be able to give your family all that they need? Well, with TDC Financial Services, all your holiday woes will disappear. You can get up to $35,000 unsecured for your holiday needs. Give us a call at 465-6516 or 469-5430 to find out how we can help to make your holidays happier for you and your family. TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Okay, folks, welcome back to Voices. On Friday, the 20th of November, that should be the upcoming Friday, the Department of Cooperatives had plans to host the various cooperatives in the Federation on the Agro Strip that's located between the Newtown playing field and TDC along the stretch. You may see a farm or two with the tables up there throughout the week, and on Saturday morning, that area is being recognized as the Agro Strip. And there were plans on that day to host the various cooperatives, farmers cooperative, beekeepers cooperative, fishermen cooperative, taxi cooperative, credit union, agro processing. I think there was a potential clash with another event that was slated for Independence Square at the same time. So they went ahead, having discussed it, and changed their date. Their due date now would be on the 27th of November. And then at the end of all that, we would have heard that the other event that was planned for that same date, they has cancelled theirs. So maybe it comes down to communication because it's all related to agriculture. I'm told that now the two departments are no longer interlinked. So there's a communication breakdown there. So they're going to have their event rescheduled for the 27th of November on the Agro Strip. Once again, it's in the vicinity between the Newtown playing field and TDC. Farmers Cooperative, you have many houses. You have House of Judah. You have all, many farmers will be coming out. And the theme for that is homegrown, home-owned. Eating locally, you're eating healthier, which supports, promotes a much healthier lifestyle. So you can go there on that day. Not only that, but that given day is really to display and promote the homegrown, home-owned theme. Eating healthier, living longer, a more healthier lifestyle. Get your fruits, your vegetables, we're talking about freshly grown, your fish. The Fishermen Cooperative will also be represented there. And I heard conversation about are you going to bring enough wilks and lobster and fish. So that's a given that you need to put in your calendar to go to what is now labeled the Agro Strip and buy from the farmers. The theme is homegrown, home-owned. We have this whole discussion about imports, the import bill, how much we import, how healthy or not is the food that we import. Here you have a chance to support your own locally owned businesses, home-owned, promoting for yourself a healthier lifestyle. So there are many farmers and fishermen from the various cooperatives. The beekeeping cooperative will be there also, beekeepers. You have the agro-processors. Those are dealing with the preservation of the food in a, holistic manner. Then you have the credit union. You have the taxi cooperative who will be making an appearance. There are certain services they can offer in this COVID environment. As was indicated by Mr. Thompson, they can offer probably transportation for children, helping the farmers move their produce around from place to place. It's a cooperative. We happen to working together, assisting each other. So they were looking at who wants a 10-foot tent, 20-foot tent, how many chairs, tables, etc. So the various societies can come out, make the presentations. Hopefully the weather will favor us. I must say us because I'm a member of the St. Catharines Cooperative. And people in general can come out and actually make a decision, a conscious, healthy decision to buy homegrown, support a home-owned business, eating healthier, buying fresher, locally produced food and vegetables, and of course, your seafood, your fish, your whelks, your lobsters, stuff like that. So there's something you want to put in your calendar. As a matter of fact, this was the topic to be discussed this morning, but my guest had an unexpected development. And hopefully, perhaps next Monday, we'll pursue more of that. But yeah, homegrown, home-owned is the theme, and it's promoting a healthier lifestyle by eating healthier food, locally produced, homegrown, home-owned. So there is that to look forward to on the date. I mentioned being the 27th of November. It is still within the World Food Month, etc. So, numbers to call are 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989, 718-265-6948. Sorry, I got it right. Got a little distracted. And 508-921-4619. From the UK area, we got 0333 044 0065. Yes, I would like for folks, if they can, to weigh in on the news that our esteemed Prime Minister has paid over $800,000 US to secure thousands of vaccinations. We know the Pfizer drug company, they're on track in the U.S. of actually identifying a workable vaccine, and that is the only way most think that they'll be able to stem this what should I call it? It's not only the pandemic, but the growing numbers because the various protocols that have been seen to be working, due to the fact that they were largely ignored, we have a spike in the U.S. like no other place around the globe. And we ask, why do we need to speak about it? We got people living there. We've already recorded nationals who would have succumbed to COVID-19 because they live in those demographics. So we have to be concerned. Not only that, is a global spread that is a pandemic. And so if the vaccine that they're speaking about, or hoping to have on stream as soon as possible, is the only way to stop COVID-19 in its track. Well, based on the fact there was lots of misinformation, especially from the Irish president and how they disseminated the information about the vaccine, there's lots of suspicion, lots of doubts. There are school of thought that says vaccination would, cause autism and various side effects. So there are people who are adamant they will not take any vaccination regardless. There is a school of thought that if you're not vaccination compliant, if that's a terminology at all, You won't be able to access certain things if you're living in a digital world. Example, your travel, your banking, your general being a part of society. We are fast approaching a cashless society where everything is done digitally. And so if your status doesn't show that you have been vaccinated, you would be somewhat denied certain services, and that's the way we're going. And we have a call on line. Caller, good morning, 11 Voices. Good morning, caller, 11 Voices.
Good morning, Socrates. How are you?
I am splendid, and you too. Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm here giving God thanks for life, man.
That's how we started.
That is how we go about it, you know.
That's how we start the day.
Yes, by giving thanks.
Of course.
You didn't have to get up, because you can't wake up yourself contrary to what we think. Contrary, the clock alarming on some dead people too, eh?
Mm-hmm. That's
Within
true.
the bed.
That's
Anyway,
true.
before I go, let me send, today would have been my mother-in-law's, Mrs. Eulalie Attil's birthday.
Okay.
Very fine lady. She has gone, so happy memories to all of my in-laws, my brother-in-law, Pastor John Attil in Antigua, his wife Karen and children, June, Francine Attil in New Jersey, Antoinette Attil Christmas in New Jersey, her triplets and her husband, and all of the grandchildren back home here. Happy memories. Now,
Beautiful.
from what I understand, I just had on Fox, and another company is saying that there were 95%.
Sure.
Yes. Success in the experiment. Eh?
Okay.
It still has to get
Approval.
I think they said they now have 3. I think this last one is a German
Company?
a German-American company.
Is that Pfizer?
No. Pfizer came out first.
Yeah.
And then another one came out, and one again today. So I think everybody trying to rush the market, eh?
Of course.
As economics, you know.
Mega,
come out first,
mega
have
bucks.
the market.
Yes.
So whether they're ready or not, they have to get theirs in the market too. You know, so when Pfizer come out 90%, this one said 95%.
So
now, in terms of, you talk about the Prime Minister, I think I heard from the news that, I think it's Paho or CARFA gave each CARICOM country a certain amount of money to pay down as a deposit on when the vaccine becomes available.
Okay.
So I am not too sure if the amount you quoted is from our treasury or actually our share. Right?
I'm following you.
And because all they're saying now, you know, if you listen to the news, they are trying to get the vaccine for Americans first. They have so many, I think it's 20 million they want to vaccinate.
Okay.
So, well, I suppose...
There must be priority?
Yes. Because remember that their government, they say, putting, I think, $1 trillion, they say.
I haven't followed it closely, to be honest. I got turned off.
$1 trillion, they say, they
couple
put
weeks
in,
ago.
you know, to assist companies. And the question now becomes, will it be free? Who will have access? And then you have the politics between the New York governor
Como?
and the President Trump.
Orange Head, yeah.
Because he said, what the governor said is what I said to myself too. Before you go and administer this vaccine to your people, you should have it check out your own self. I mean, we have UWI. They should have some capacity. You have CARFA in Trinidad, I think, wherever it is.
Are you speaking locally or in the U.S.?
In both in the U.S. I said in the U.S. The governor of New York
Como
said...
is arguing that it actually is...
Not arguing. He has said he's setting up a team to check the effectiveness of any vaccine that comes out before he administers it.
But I think he was arguing that it disadvantages black and brown people First
yes.
week, that was looking at. So
That came out after Trump said he's not sending any down here.
okay, so that's a different angle because there
See,
was
Trump says, after the man said, look, he want to check the vaccine himself. He said, well, when the vaccine come out, I will send to the other state, but I will not send any down to New York until the governor something. So they are saying, look, in New York, the biggest fatality rate was down there.
Of course.
And the issue of cost, will it be free? Because that question has not been answered yet.
I don't see
the companies,
the U.S. government subsidizing that cost.
Yes, but they subsidize the companies might try to recoup what they invest.
Of course.
Because that is why, for example, they would give the countries, because then you have to pay, whether plenty or little. But that is now the debate. There's a Chinese vaccine that was being used in Brazil. Did you hear about it?
No, I know there's supposed to be one in Africa that they're denying the existence of.
No. There's one down in Brazil. But I think the Americans pressured the Brazil government to stop it because they were already using the Chinese vaccine down in Brazil. You know, Brazil, Bolsonaro, whatever his name is. He and Trump are brothers, eh?
He had his name just now. Yeah.
Yeah, now I want to ask you a question about the taxes and are you working at the airport?
No. But they
engaging in
prepared quite a
transport?
few. Yes, they prepared quite a few vehicles to meet the demands of the airport. Yes.
Oh, what has been the response by your people so far? Did the plane come in on Saturday, gone?
Yes, I think so. Actually, quite a number of drivers, if you were to walk to the back of the Pelican Mall, they're there now, and they're getting inspected. They're meeting the standards to be able to work at the airport. So they've come aboard a bit late, but they're doing so.
Because I was wondering what was the response they gave? How did they feel when they had to transport? You know, have you all investigated that? Because there might be some trepidation the first time you go to transport people.
What I heard, there was some issue with the fares. There are some new fares being discussed by the government. They have to be gazetted at first. And so there was somebody speaking about this is the old fare. And that was like the main concern, or the main fallout that I gathered. But in terms of people being there for work, they had to meet all the standards. I think they were pretty much on board with it.
Because I kept wondering about it, you know. And we have 7 days past. Those who came and went out, or they're here and will be tested?
They're, give me one person, DJ Mauricio, he's still here. He's in the hotel.
He's a local.
You know, but, okay, he came in from New York.
I know what I'm saying.
In terms of
I know
tourists,
some people came for vacation.
I think from day 1 to the 7, you have to be on the property and be tested at, periodically. And then I think it's from 14.
14 days, you're free to go.
Something like that, yeah.
Because I was wondering about it, because I haven't heard anything. You know, since I'm not on the media, I was wondering what is the response. Well, I am glad to hear that some of the taximen are now doing something.
Yes.
Because it don't make no sense. You're either in or you're out, you know.
Listen, look at the cruise ship industry. We were hopeful that at some point, but based on what happened to that particular liner, there were 7 cases, and that for the whole cruise industry potential out of whack.
Yeah, because they were hoping to run that cruise out of Barbados, down and back to Barbados.
Yeah. They had to be flown home.
So what are they going to do?
Well,
they quarantine the whole ship?
It's instructive because they were able to follow all the protocols. They felt they were in a safe bubble based on the remarks of one of the passengers. And they cannot explain how they came by 1 and then 7 cases because they followed all the standard. The sanitization, they were tested before they went aboard the ship. They got tested there, and they were allowed to socialize on the ship. And then on day 2, day 3, they were told the captain, you have to stay in the cabins.
The truth is, what test did they use? Because we're back to this, what do they call it again? This quick test. it has been proven to be unreliable.
And that's very important because people saying,
You
well,
see?
I'm coming to St. Kitts, I test before I left St. Kitts, I come here, so we have to test again. Good example.
Yeah, because it has been shown now the PCR test. People want the quick one, and why I have to do this, and you get a negative. And then the whole thing mess up, because, I'm sure Barbados is a bit disturbed.
Of
Talk
course.
about the
Image.
ship went down to St. Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the plan. Now, what happened to these yachts that come to St. Kitts?
I believe that the Marine Department had to step up because we're not really quite a close border, but they had to use, I think...
No, we open,
Yeah, but in terms of they had to step up and do more monitoring. I'm not going to speak to the method by which they would have done that, but they've really ramped up their monitoring of the
what
yachts.
the ship did is what they were saying, that you have the ship and they come in and they go to secluded beaches,
Yes.
and then leave. And I heard the police had to be in St. Vincent.
Well, there was a case here earlier on this year where they had something like that happen and they had to step on the case. So I think we're more proactive. We are in a position to learn from the mistakes of others across the region. Yes, we have to.
They better learn because it is spiking so bad in the States. And all of our people abroad listening, please take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. No matter with ignorant ones. A mask could be, it's uncomfortable, there's no question, but when you're dead, you can't even feel.
As somebody says, 6 feet under or 6 feet apart, take a choice.
Your apartment. Is in your tent, the fellow saying about the apartment, the one-room apartment?
Yes, one-room apartment.
Well, in America and some countries, you ain't even get in the apartment.
That is true.
Not in the apartment to get in.
So we have been, I would say, lucky so far because you can take all the precautions that there are on the known precaution and still end up with cases, etc.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is this, the risk is higher.
It is.
Because the level of risk you're looking at, The level of risk is higher if you don't comply.
Well, it's today's what, the 15th of November. We open the borders. So, yeah. We open on the 1st of November. And of course, the cases that came in, I won't say cases, the person that came in, they're actually being monitored to see what if fingers still crossed, because anything can happen.
Yeah, but I expected to hear by now what happened after the 7th day, which was Saturday.
Okay.
What, was anybody tested positive?
We've had no official update from the NUSC, and I think if there were any information to update, they would have, yes.
In quarantine.
But even so, they give us the information. They've been very proactive with the population.
Yes, and I pray for the country.
Yes.
And I was sending happy birthday to my neighbor, Marilyn Cannonier, on Neverson Street. It's happy birthday, Marilyn. May God bless you.
Quick question.
All the best.
What are your views on the vaccination?
Well, I always believe they should be checked, because I recalled, when we're small, we just line up and got it.
Yep. But do you recommend that the person in the federation should just take it without question? Do you see any objections to it?
What I say. CARFA is the agency responsible for Caribbean countries, right? It should be CARFA's responsibility to run some check out the vaccines. Now, if CARFA finds it okay. Now, you may say, if you like to speculate, that somebody going to pay somebody to say yes. Because we like to speculate, right? But once CARFA, because we got to have trust in somebody. You have CARFA, you have PAHO. Because those are two agencies responsible for the Caribbean and Latin America. They should start the literature, the tests, if they have the capacity, if not build it, to check these things. Now, the problem, as I listen also, has to do with the storage and the transport of the vaccine, which seems seem to put us out of the loop.
We don't have that capacity?
They do we have the
Storage capacity?
that's it. God is saying it has to be so many degrees below freezing.
So that adds to the cost. So
Transport
there's no way
between-
it will be subsidized by any government.
I tell you, the agencies, you know. The agencies are thinking it.
Okay.
And I believe WHO might give because, remember, you have the larger countries. So that what our government has done, we have reserved, we have made a down payment. And as I said, I think it's CAF gave them, either CAF or Development Bank, I think, too, you know. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me. I think the CDB gave each country, I think it was 200,000, either EC or US.
Well, the figures are 800,000 US paid by the Prime Minister.
Yeah, but
I understand that. They may have given that and he may have added on. I'm saying the figure
Yes,
stated is
yes.
800,000.
I know I heard either CDB or CAF gave each country a certain amount to make a deposit.
Okay.
But I said, once you check out, take it.
Okay.
Because the risk, eh? So what do you say? Because you're in the age.
Maybe so much superstition about the virus, especially
No, but
with
you got to be intelligent, you know.
I
You
understand
can't look. You see polio and all of those things, smallpox, and you hear, oh, nobody must give me child nothing, and you know what I mean? And we go through the whole rigmarole. And then you heard this outbreak in New York among a lot of, I think they were the Orthodox Jews who weren't immunized. They shouldn't go and spread it to yours.
But
And because we were born in an era when it wasn't killing people.
okay.
It's, oh, you get a little measles, you get over it, you know?
I'm gonna
But
play
when you
devil's
read the history, how much 100,000 of people died from these things, they wipe out the indigenous people in South and Central America?
I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. Do you see any correlation with the mandatory vaccination that's coming and 666?
No. People must read the Bible properly. You never see not one of vaccination, you know.
Because
All of the persons out there who think Christianity is a joke and it's white people religion and all the God thing ain't no nothing. You either on God's side or not. And God, by God, I mean Jehovah God. Whether you want to say he's a white man God, a Jewish God, he himself, you either believe it, 'cause if you don't believe it, then it has nothing to do with you. Because it is the Christian Bible that says you're going to have the mark of the beast.
okay, I want to hear.
If you discount the whole thing, if you don't want no God, you will be marked whether you hand your foot or whatever. The difference between the Christian and the non-Christian is the blood of Jesus. That is the
We're
only
talking
thing, you know.
about the suspicion that the vaccine will contain tracking mechanism, etc., etc. So I want to hear from Rascolongi, Eli X, and
I mean, they
Africa
got to
on
come
this.
with it. Look, hello. Tell them I said when they come in, you hear me? Remember, this is not the day that black people couldn't read.
Miss Henry, you got to call on the line.
Black people could read.
Our next caller on the line is Henry, right? Let me take this one, okay? Call out your live on voices.
Hello?
Yes, good morning, you're live on voices.
Yes, good morning.
And another voice, go
You
ahead.
were just talking to Sylvine about this vaccine, and she was talking about the temperature that is supposed to be
Yes.
kept in. But from listening to the news this morning with this new vaccine from Monroe, this one can just go in the regular refrigerator.
Oh.
And the thing is, this vaccine thing seems to be very rushed. Right now, it's a competition to see who could come out first.
Yes, because Pfizer's
So
supposed to
I
be
would
leading.
be very leery about these things. It's just too rushed for me. I'm very uncomfortable to think about it. And about this thing about mandatory and telling you if you don't take it, your bank, you can't have access to your bank account and all of. I think those are nonsense. And number one, it's not like when you pull up your name, they can say, well, you had the vaccine, because the HIPAA law, your medical information cannot release to just any and anybody. The Hippolyta forbid that.
Chick.
So to me, a lot of that is just nonsense.
Okay, entertain me for a second. You want to travel to, say, the UK, and they say you can't travel to the UK unless you're vaccine compliant. How is that not mandatory? You want to travel, but unless you want to take in that vaccine, you can't go in. Let's put it up there.
But then how they gonna know whether you got that vaccine? That means they have to have access to your medical record.
Yes,
And
we live in a digital world. I think they would change to accommodate that because they want to know that everybody's complained. That's the whole thing, to know how many persons are complained, because there's no way that they're giving that amount in the U.S. and not knowing who they would have given it to and who don't have it.
Let me, my thought on this thing is it's a test run for the Antichrist. Hello?
Yes, go ahead. It will form part of your call.
It's a test run for the Antichrist. I think what they're doing right now, what governments all over the world is doing, is checking the pulse of the people for compliance. That's what they're doing for total government to control all over the world. It's just the pulse of the people they're taking.
But that was a question I was trying to pose to Sister Henry. If she see any correlation between that and 666, as promised in the Bible. The mark, you must have that enabled to engage in commerce.
Exactly. But this year, what I'm saying is it's a test. It's a test run. And it's a test to check the temperature of the public.
So
because all this can only work if the public accept it. This is the only way government could get total control over the people.
Quite so.
If we don't stand up and fight for nothing, of course they're going to have access to you. Of course they're going to tell you what and what you cannot do. So it's a pulse, it's a test for the country, for the world.
So we study, are you going to take your vaccine when they come to you?
For me?
Yep.
I personally, I will have to go down in some fasting and prayer. Okay, especially when it comes to this rush thing.
Yep.
I'm not just running a line, go line up, go being a test guinea pig for nobody. Especially this pigmentation that I have, it's not very favorable, okay?
You remember the French wanted to go first to Africa to test their vaccine?
Exactly. This pigmentation is everybody guinea pig.
Yep.
I am not going to be a guinea pig for anybody. So me rushing in line for nothing. Some fasting and prayer is what I will go down to.
But when we go to
they're going to test it on some other people, but they're going to test it on me first.
When we go to a digital world and you can't access your salary through your bank, and you can't do this because you didn't take the vaccine. That's the same as 666, the mark of the beast. You cannot engage in commerce unless you have had that.
When the mark of the beast comes, I will be out of here because I am living for Christ. And as long as I hold on to him, the church will be raptured already. So I won't be, as long as I don't die, go to sleep, I would be raptured. I will be gone. As long as I hold on to God and live a godly and a true life.
It's a wonderful thing to have a faith so strong. I'm not going to be hearing
that taking place.
But for the others, what do you wish us?
For those who don't want Jesus, you better be ready. Be ready to accept it. Otherwise, what are you going to do?
I want to hear from Masculinity, Africa, and Eli X on this. Before that, young lady.
But in any case, I have a problem, right? I was watching a video with the Prime Minister in church talking about this government paying down money for this vaccine.
Go ahead.
I have a problem with that being taken place in God's house. God's house is a holy place.
But isn't it good news?
Especially on the pulpit.
Wasn't it good news?
The pulpit is not for that.
Don't you go to church to get good news? Wasn't that good news?
Look me, no, that is not, no, that don't belong on God rostrum.
I'm just asking.
And a matter of fact, God rostrum, right, is a holy place. Ungodly people should not be upon God rostrum. We need to respect. That is the problem today. People don't respect the rostrum. People don't respect God's house. They just at certain limits that they must be put. So that thing, the
I
Prime Minister
won't
have a
describe
platform to announce all that
the
stuff on his
PM
show.
as being ungodly. He's in church every Sunday,
He
always
says,
there. I
I
wanna
don't care
say
how much you could go. You could go to church 100 times a day. If you're not saved, if you have not surrendered your life, give your life to Christ, turn from your wicked ways,
but the same
ungodly.
Bible tell you judge not, remember? The
Excuse
same Bible
me?
tell you judge not.
It's not why is it when people speak God's word, y'all call it judging?
No.
It's the word
We
of
have
God.
we
It's not
having a
judging.
discussion.
It is the word
You're
of
saying
God.
that even though he goes to church and so he's not saved, he's
Even
not a
if he
Christian.
go 100 times,
Yeah.
if he don't say surrender to God, baptize and turn from this world, he is a sinner.
Okay.
That's the word of God. It's
All
not
right.
judging. It is what it is.
Okay, is the
And
call
God's
still online?
wisdom needs to be respected, and that should not have been on God's pulpit because the Prime Minister have an avenue, his show, to talk about that thing. That's my point, and that's the way I feel. And I know party people gonna come backlash, but God's house is God's house.
Amen
You have
to
a
that.
blessed day.
Amen to that. Beautiful. Can we get the other call? Is the person still there? Caller, good morning, you're live. I'm sorry we would have lost a caller. We had a very passionate last caller, and she is adamant that's her position. Okay. We accept her faith, the way she holds on to it. And we have a caller. Caller 11 voices. Go ahead.
Socrates, good morning.
Oh, long time. How does that go? Talk to us, man, sir.
Socrates,
Welcome to the program, sir.
Let me say morning to all the listeners.
Yes.
But really and truly, me on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Henry pulled me out to vacation this morning.
How you been on vacation from Win FM? What kind of story that?
Listen, Miss Henry say that what go on now no got no relation to 666.
That is her position.
Miss Henry for crazy. Miss Henry forget the Bible.
Let's hear represent.
Oh my goodness. Cousin Henry, what you really said this morning? Oh my goodness. And let me make one correction to my sister. My sister, good morning. When the Antichrist come, the rapture now go take place. You got
It's
one
gonna
other
be
event
before?
where you call the tribulation, War Armageddon.
Mm-hmm. This is
There
before
we
the
know
rapture
even for
or
the
after the
rapture.
rapture?
Right. Not during the reign of the Antichrist. During the reign of the Antichrist, it go very, 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 very difficult for the Christian living. Because this now, Satan now, have a rule.
He'll have dominion.
God I go allow this. Because Satan, remember, he don't want to overthrow God's place in heaven, and he get cast down, right?
All right. Here's what.
Right.
I want you to make
Go
the
ahead.
connection between the vaccine, what's happening now, the mandatory requirements, and 666. You said that Miss
just-
Henry didn't, when
you-
she denied it. You make the connection
You
for
just, but you just say just now, you say mandatory.
me. Yep.
So that the connection. Anyway, let me explain a little better.
Please.
God, no force nobody into nothing. He give you word, and he tell you accept or left him. Satan, whether by will or by force, he gonna make you obey. You get me?
I'm
You see
following
all
you.
this bubble. You see all this bubble. Answer that I talk about. And if you not got the bubble, same thing. If you not got the mark of the beast. But you see, me not really want to even talk about the mark of the beast yet because the time they not come yet. Socrates.
Okay.
These are just the events that lead up to that. You get that?
I'm following you.
So these are the signs. And what you see right now are the signs. But the whole point about it, if you're involved in the signs, it's just like when the time comes, because what will happen now, If you know what do all war, the agents, the government, the CMOs of the world, the government, WHO, are the agent of the Antichrist. Right now, all them mask wearing and so, I welcome, you're welcome. The Antichrist. You see all the rules? You see all the rules and so that a farm?
Yep.
Remember, God done got his rules, so no rule they know for God. So all them rules that are meant now are for the Antichrist.
In preparation of?
Free coming.
Okay.
Free coming, just like how he may prophesy Jesus will come.
So,
remember now, you hear any Antichrist.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you're counterfeit. You come now, go post-Christ. You come now, go rule.
So before...
look, go ahead.
Before we come up to... We got about 60 seconds. Are you saying that there's no way you're taking the virus? The vaccination?
Socrates, me don't even wear mask. Right now, all them preacher up here on Monstrat, none of them pass and watch me in my face. The premier, him and preacher, the minister of health, him and preacher. Well, not still because they still go on pulpit and farm full. The minister of health is my cousin. The premier are my best friend. Me like them fire up here.
Okay.
The CMO up here, I use them. Right now, we look where every time they pass and they see them look where me watching straight in their face.
So you have not worn a mask?
Me not go to church. Me stop go to church because me now go to church. We no Antichrist rules. Me not put on a mask and I go there. You are worship the Antichrist and still go to church. Go worship the true living God. What foolishness is that?
So as far as you're concerned, let's use the word mandatory vaccination, you see a connection or correlation with that on 666?
Yes.
And because Sister Henry didn't
because
agree with you...
what will happen now, when you take the vaccination, remember, just like certain places you can't go unless the rebel and you have forgot the something. So when you go to the immigration, now you have to present the form there.
Correct.
You have to present the document there. You understand me?
Okay.
Right. And remember the 666 now, you're going to be right now your phone and now your forehead ahead. So you can tell me what say?
We're going to leave 666 and go to 12 o'clock. Midday.
Okay, no problem.
Broadcast. So thanks for your contribution.
Are we
Spirited as usual. Catch me later on. We're going to pause right now for the midday newscast, and hopefully we get you back on the other side of voices.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the Win FM Headline News. The Win FM Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, Carib Brewery, CNC Trading.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world. Whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous, you can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air. We get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises, telephone number 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts, offering 24-hour nursing, therapeutic, and residential care for older adults? It's situated at Otley, 7 miles east of Vastair in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodation to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020, fax 466-8221, or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com, or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Without limits, happy and free. The skin you're in with no apology. The one to seize the day. Grab an LLB. Live, love, be. With LLB. Live, love, be. Live, love, be. Be who you know you can be. Grab an LLB. Live, love, be. Angostura, lemon, lime, and bitters. Live, love, be.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a local reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
With the WinFM News, I am Kevon Brown. Investigations are continuing into the death of Arthur Jacobs, 62, of Ponds Pasture. Mr. Jacobs died after an accident on the Bay Road close to 6 p.m. Friday, November 13th. Videos of the fatality were posted on social media Friday night. In a release shared Sunday, November 15th, around 4:30 p.m., the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force confirmed the fatality and said it was being investigated. The accident occurred on the Island Bay Road near Saul Station sometime after 6 p.m. A vehicle, P7985, owned and driven by Inshan Mohammed of Pine Gardens, Shadwell Housing, collided with 62-year-old Arthur Jacobs of Ponds Pasture, who was crossing the road at the time. Mohammed was traveling from Bird Rock towards Central Bastair, and after passing the main entrance of the Saul Station, he collided with Jacobs. Jacobs was transported to the JNF General Hospital by the Emergency Medical Service via ambulance, where he later died. Monday morning, another image of what appeared to be a serious accident reportedly in the Keon area made the rounds on social media Sunday afternoon. Four men accused of the armed robbery of the Gulf View apartments in the Frigate Bay area are reportedly out on bail. A fifth suspect in the robbery has not been named nor located by the police. In September, the men, Devon Herbert of Virchilds, Vernon Nias and Einan Nias of Greenlands, and Davin Phillip of Westbourne Gut, were jointly charged with 2 counts of assault with 5 counts of robbery, 2 counts of assault with intent to rob, 1 count of conspiracy to commit robbery, 4 counts of possession of a firearm with intent to commit a felony, and 4 counts of possession of ammunition. The men, reportedly clad in bulletproof vests, were arrested in the area while trying to escape the scene in a vehicle with fake license plates, according to police reports. Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris will introduce an income tax amendment bill when Parliament convenes on Tuesday, November 17th at the National Assembly Chambers Government Headquarters in Bastair. 5 bills are on the order paper. The COVID-19 Prevention and Control Bill 2020, first read on October 15, 2020, will have its second reading. Dr. Harris will introduce and have read for the first time the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2020. A National Disaster Management Amendment Bill 2020 was expected to have its first reading on 15th October 2020. The St. Christopher and Nevis Mutual Exchange of Information in Taxation Matters Amendment Bill 2020, which had its first reading on October 15, 2020, will have its second reading. Minister of Health Akila Byron Nisbet will move the second reading of the Public Health Amendment Bill 2020, which had its first reading on October 15th. The first Calypso tent for this year's carnival season launched in a virtual fashion Saturday night, November 14th. The Legends Calypso tent offered the first in a series of virtual Calypso tents organized by the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee, featuring 12 Calypsonians. Artists and selections included Lucius with Since, Singing Sharon, Mama Used to Say, Lord Payne, Gyal You Caliente, Neglecta In and Out, King Irvin, Plantation Legacy, Badman Polo, Mark That Mother for Tim, Jack Spanner, Footprints in the Sand, Singing Sensation, Thank You All the Same, Mighty Rope, Brown Sugar, Sex Offenders List, Turkey Killer, Get Real, and Queen Diva, Cough It There. With the crippling effect of global pandemic COVID-19 on economies worldwide, tossing millions into deeper poverty, the race is on for a vaccine that can restore some degree of normality to international trade, commerce, travel, and the job market. Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, at a church service at the Estridge Moravian Church on Sunday, November 15th, reminded the congregation that St. Kitts and Nevis has made a deposit to access vaccines when they become available. In October, the World Bank approved US $12 billion for developing countries to finance the purchase and distribution of COVID-19 vaccines, tests, and treatments for their citizens. BioNTech and Pfizer recently confirmed that their vaccine was found to be 90% effective, and it had completed a deal with the European Commission to purchase up to 300 million doses of the vaccine. The US has promised to purchase $1.95 billion worth of the vaccine through the Warp Speed program if it's approved. Reuters reports Monday, November 16th, that Moderna Inc. announced that its experimental vaccine is 94.5% effective in preventing COVID-19 based on interim data from a late-stage trial. Together with Pfizer Inc.'s vaccine, which is also more than 90% effective and pending more safety data and regulatory review, the United States could have 2 vaccines authorized for emergency use in December, with as many as 60 million doses of vaccine available this year, Reuters said. More than 5,000 lunches served Sunday, November 15th at Amory Bakery on Victoria Road in Basse-Terre. The event was organized by the owner of the bakery to give back to the community on the occasion of his birthday. Teresa McCall of Amory Bakery spoke to Win on The Scene Sunday.
5,000 lunches to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. I mean, as he has explained before, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis have supported him and his business and his father's business, and now he is now showing support for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, of which he's a part, and the people whom he serves. So this is part of his way of giving back. This is just a small way. One of the ways that he's giving back. This is a big way, but this is just one of the ways that he is giving back. As you would be aware, there's also the buy one, get one free special that runs from 6 in the morning until, hope I get it right, I think it's about 7:30, yes, in the morning, and then 5 in the afternoon until closing time. That is happening as well. So you buy a pay or bread or whatever it is, and you get the other one free during those periods of time. So that's giving back as well. So he's doing quite a bit to give back to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And what I've heard many people say is, God bless Mr. Army, and I do agree, God bless him especially, because who gives back on their birthday? On your birthday, you expect to get, you expect to receive, you expect to take, but he is giving to the community, giving to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis on his birthday. And imagine more than 5,000 free lunches. Can you imagine that?
In an earlier interview with Win, Mr. Amory,
we have several persons who have offered to help to put the lunches together, package them, and distribute them. Everything will be done orderly. We'll have a line for persons with tickets and ones without tickets, and we'll alternate between those lines. So we'll move both lines as quickly as we can. On the menu for Sunday, a lot of people love chicken here, so we thought that we should put chicken on the menu. And also a lot of people love the barbecue ribs, which is something that my brother and I started. It was called Ribs and Rolls. So these ribs will be marinated in wine and honey, and it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have black beans and rice, red beans and rice. We're going to have some lentils and rice. We're going to have a variety of rice and salad, vegetables, and a dessert.
Amory Bakery, formerly American Bakery, was established in 1949 by Mr. Ashton Amory, MBE, with reportedly 5 pounds of flour, is now owned and operated by his son, Mr. Ernest Amory, MBE.
In regional news,
St. Lucia's Cultural Minister, Fortuna Belrose, defends the government's decision to proceed with a major tourism event, the Atlantic Rally Cruisers, despite the increased effect of the pandemic on their country. More on this report from HTS St. Lucia.
Questions are being raised about plans to proceed with the Atlantic Rally for Cruisers, while cultural activities have been shelved due to the global health crisis. The ARC is the largest transoceanic sailing event in the world and the first major activity since the COVID-19 virus was declared a pandemic. The rally attracts over 200 boats that sail across the Atlantic from Gran Canaria to St. Lucia. However, this year, strict health and safety protocols will be in place due to the pandemic. These protocols include a COVID-19 PCR test and the wearing of wristbands to differentiate non-quarantine participants from those cleared for movement by port and health authorities. Culture Minister Fortuna Belrose says the duration of the ARC is in keeping with the 14-day quarantine period, and thus the event received the green light.
The protocols continue to hold with respect to anybody coming into St. Lucia, and so for the participants, they would have to do their various tests. And of course, they spend 14 days on the sea, which is the period of time that is quarantine anyway. You understand? And so by the time they get here, they would also be tested. And so that's 14 days later or more, depending on when they arrive. And so we don't see any major issue, you understand, with respect to any major spread of COVID, during that time. Because if they've been on the waters for over 14 days, which is a period of time, the quarantine period would have been here. If they are sick when they arrive, that would be picked up because we have strengthened the protocols, at our Rodney Bay Marina, where they would be coming through. And so we don't anticipate any major challenge.
Belrose acknowledges that ARC organizers expect a drop in numbers for this year's event.
When you look at activities, you have to look at the nature and the type of event that it is. When you look at the ARC is an event that allows for participation of persons in an event that lasts over 14 days on the sea. And so to my mind, or to our minds, the ARC is on. Of course, it would be, from what we know, based on COVID and the impact of COVID in the European region, it would be significantly reduced in terms of the numbers of participants this year.
The rally is hosted by the St. Lucia Tourism Authority in collaboration with Events Company of St. Lucia and the Health Ministry. The Culture Minister says the activity will benefit the tourism sector.
Tourism is one of the key lifelines within our community, and we have to continue to work to ensure that our society and our people are fed and kept comfortable. Today we have 1/3 of the persons within the sector going back to work, and we are quite happy to see that. We have to learn to live with COVID, and this is what we are doing as a government to ensure that people continue to adhere to the protocols and do all it takes to ensure that our citizens are safe, within this pandemic era.
The arc is set to commence next week, and sailors are expected to be in St. Lucia by early December. About 454 crew members are expected to participate in the 31st edition of ARC and ARC Plus, 37 of whom are children. Colby DeVoe, HTS News Force.
In Barbados, residents cry out and vent their frustrations at a town hall over a dump located at the Lower State Quarry St. George, reporting difficulty breathing because of the site, indicating a possible environmental hazard for residents. More on this report from Barbados Today.
Persons living near the illegal dump at Lower Estate Quarry St. George call for immediate relief from environmental problems. At a town hall meeting held yesterday by the Ministry of Health and Wellness, residents vented their frustration at the vexing situation, which they say they've had to live with for the past few years. They shared their plight of enduring unbearable fumes with Health Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, other government officials, and their new parliamentary representative, Tony Moore.
The order is affecting people in the area. Unless you are coming here to tell them that there's some new brand of perfume that has been invented that will be dumped into a drone and flown over the affected area and sprayed 3 or 4 times a day, then this meeting shouldn't last more than 10 minutes, at which you should have come here to announce the closure, the date of the closure of the facility, and assure the residents that the police, in association with officials from the Ministry of Health, will be making frequent checks to ensure that it remains closed.
Based on the stench and it isn't going anywhere, I personally would like it to start as soon as possible. I don't know what the other residents feel, but if it kicks up in Christmas, we smell the same thing. So I prefer to get it head on now and get a breather in 2021, since everything bad happening in 2020 anyway. So my one part, start immediately.
I don't see Shelly sitting next to me in Queen Elizabeth Hospital. I don't see any of y'all sitting next to me in Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And I am a mother that loves my children, and I panic. And when the water comes to my eyes to see that my children can't breathe. Well, when this first happened, my daughter was 2 years old. She's 4 now. I'm still having the same situation. Inhalers, and the hurtful thing now is they're telling us don't bring the children because of the COVID and how to use the inhalers. I don't have the high-tech things where the persons use, what is called them. I don't have none of them. So I got to maintain with the inhaler, make sure she gets 6 puffs before a certain time. You don't know how it is feel to see your child breathing like that. You know when it's their last. So I hope that this word given now is the final word, and we don't have to come back here 2 years later, 3 years later, begging and pleading for this thing to stop.
I can't take this no more. I had enough. I didn't plan to say anything, but to tell the honest truth, my hardest one is getting up at 3:30 when my daughter wakes me. I tell me, Mommy, I can't breathe. My daughter almost dead one night when this thing started to hit through the house. I tell her, look, I can tell you something, Mr. Minister. I never drive 100 miles yet, but I drive at 100 just to get hospital. I could have lost my daughter, my only daughter. And this needs to stop.
Residents were assured that authorities were taking steps to tackle continuous smoldering in the quarry, along with the toxic fumes in the atmosphere, in a bid to rectify the situation. Minister Bostic said that the framework will be put in place in the coming weeks.
One of the things that I have said to the technical team is exactly what you were saying, because recognizing how long this been on, that is what we're doing. The challenge is we will do so, but first of all, for example, in terms of the waste and dealing with that issue, we need to hear from you as to when would be an appropriate time for us to start, given the fact that what Mr. Marshall would have indicated in terms of the odors and the smoke that will be generated from doing this work. the air quality that is being worked on at the moment, and I anticipate that within another 2 weeks at the most that we should be able to give some sort of timelines. They will be given through the technical committee, and you have some residents who are on that committee that will be able to communicate those timelines. But this project cannot go on without having those timelines up front, because that is what gives the interministerial committee the opportunity to be able to monitor what the technical people are doing to make sure that we are keeping up to date as far as the operations are concerned.
We now bring you this international report.
On Sunday, President Trump golfed. But before hitting the links for the second day in a row, Trump ignited a short-lived media frenzy when he seemed to finally admit defeat, tweeting about President-elect Joe Biden, he won because the election was rigged. But soon that tweet came down and Trump sent out a new one saying, I concede nothing. Trump's false claims of voting fraud have been refuted by state and federal officials. As Biden attended church services near his home in Delaware, Trump's own former national security advisor indicated Trump is sabotaging the transfer of power.
Pretty soon we'll get the stab in the back theories, we'll get the dark conspiracy theories continued, and he will make life as difficult as he can for the incoming Biden administration. I think that harms the country.
With COVID-19 cases and deaths sharply on the rise across the U.S., Biden's designated chief of staff said the transition must be seamless.
There are people at HHS making plans to implement that vaccine. Our experts need to talk to those people as soon as possible so nothing drops in this change of power we're going to have on January 20th.
Several states have imposed severe new restrictions to curb the virus in recent days. A co-chairperson of Biden's COVID task force said Biden would not order a total lockdown when he takes office.
The better way to think about these safety restrictions is more as a dial that we turn up and down depending on severity.
Congress will be back in session on Monday. With millions of Americans out of jobs and plunged into poverty by the pandemic, Democrats called on Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell to speed up work on a COVID relief and recovery bill.
The bottom line is very simple. We need a large, strong COVID bill to deal with our problems. We have heard for months, every time we get close to a deal, Senator McConnell says no. He has become the Dr. No of COVID.
A transition on hold as the virus gains the upper hand. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera.
China continued to shake off its COVID-19 slump on Monday. Factory output in the world's second-largest economy rose faster than expected in October, with industrial production climbing 6.9% from a year earlier. The gains beat the 6.5% rise expected in a Reuters poll of analysts. China's industrial sector has staged an pandemic. It's been helped by resilient exports, but also good news at home too. Consumers are opening up their wallets again in a further boost to the economy. The improved appetite for spending was seen in China's auto sales, growing 12.5% in October, with demand surging particularly for electric vehicles. European shares rose in morning trade, hovering near 9-month highs. The pan-European stock 600 was up around 0.7% in early deals, with banks and travel stocks gaining the most. Hong Kong stocks closed higher after the upbeat data, as well as news of the establishment of a China-backed trade bloc. China's consistent run of good data since the second quarter has prompted speculation the central bank may start to tighten policy. But analysts say policymakers are unlikely to rush winding down existing stimulus. That's partly due to persistent uncertainties about the pandemic and global demand.
Australia was put back on high alert on Monday as the state of South Australia ended a months-long streak of no locally transmitted COVID-19 infections. A new virus cluster in South Australia has been linked to 17 infections so far, after a worker from a quarantine hotel infected family members. The news has stoked fears of a new virus hotspot within the country. South Australian Premier Stephen Marshall.
I would like to advise that all inbound international flights to Adelaide have now been suspended at our request for the remainder of this week. Our priority is ensuring that we have enough Medi-hotel capacity to meet any local quarantine requirements. This morning I received a call from the Prime Minister and I accepted his offer for increased support from the Australian Defence Force.
The news has prompted neighbouring Western Australia to order mandatory testing and self-isolation for 14 days for new arrivals from South Australia. The island state of Tasmania also ordered immediate self-isolation for South Australian arrivals, while the Northern Territory will now mandate supervised quarantine. Meanwhile, Australia's two most populous states, New South Wales and Victoria, have yet to announce any changes to border controls. Ever since Victoria emerged from a lengthy lockdown earlier this month to contain its own outbreak, Australia had previously recorded several days of no new locally transmitted COVID-19 infections.
That was the WinFM Headline News, brought to you by KDP Enterprises, Caribbean Alliance, Carrie Brewery, CNC Trading, The Grange.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
Without limits, happy and free. The skin you're in with no apology. The one to seize the day. Grab an LLB. Live, love, be. With LLB. Live, love, be. Live, love, be. Be who you know you can be. Grab an LLB. Live, love, be. Angostura, lemon, lime, and bitters. Live, love, be.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts, offering 24-hour nursing, therapeutic and residential care for older adults? It's situated at Otley, 7 miles east of Vastair in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodation to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020, fax 466-8221, or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com, or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world. Whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous, you can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air. We get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises, telephone number 466-9595.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
From the South, 98.9.
Win FM weather.
Do you know your indoor air quality? Did you know that mold and bacteria particles are floating in the air you breathe and can cause illnesses? Steam can purify all indoor surface areas. Steam and air purification will allow you to breathe easy. Breathe Easy is the name of a business which promotes pure indoor air quality, offering professional sanitization service for residential, commercial, industrial, and public spaces. The air quality will be tested prior and post-service. Our team will delicately scrub your air so you can breathe easy. Call today for assessments and bookings at 667-0557 or 765-4925. So give us a call and breathe easy. Do you know your indoor air quality? Did you know that mold and bacteria particles are floating in the air you breathe and can cause illnesses? Steam can purify all indoor surface areas. Steam and air purification will allow you to breathe easy. Breathe Easy is the name of a business which promotes pure indoor air quality, offering professional sanitization service for residential, commercial, industrial, and public spaces. The air quality will be tested prior and post-service. Our team will delicately scrub your air so you can breathe easy. Call today for assessments and bookings at 667-0557 or 765-4925. So give us a call and breathe easy.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Voices. I'm told there's a call on the line, so we go straight to the line. Caller, you're 11 Voices.
Good afternoon, Socrates.
Good afternoon. How about now?
How are you today?
I am a splendid idiot.
Okay. Thank God for life. But I want to say something about this video where somebody sent it to me with the Prime Minister in church. We're talking about the vaccine.
Yes, go ahead.
And I don't think it's a bad thing, you know, because people in church concerned too, everybody concerned about this COVID-19. You understand? So if you go in church and let people know what he do, I don't think it's a problem because, look, Sylvian Carlin, he's a Christian, Greg Carlin, he's a Christian, Mr. Monsat Carlin and the lady from Connecticut, all of them is Christian and they contribute a lot to these talk shows.
Definitely.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing somebody will say, there is Christian. Why they don't keep off of these talk shows and go to church for free?
I didn't see that one coming. I did not see that one coming. Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm not a Christian. I go to church. Sometimes you go to church and you get a collection. They take up your money. You're not a Christian.
Okay.
So if the Prime Minister go in the church and talk about that, I ain't bashing nobody. To me, it's saying what you say sometimes it's just how we say things.
Okay.
You know? It's just how we say it. So
you're saying there's nothing wrong with him going to church and make that announcement. They're saying he should not because it's God's house, etc. I'm saying it's good news. It's good news. And he's got a wide audience. He's always in church. I don't see him as a heathen, and you're sharing something positive.
So that means if that is God's house and I ain't a Christian, that means you ain't welcome in the church because I ain't a Christian. What are you doing in God's house? I mean, sometimes it's saying what we say is just how we say things. And I think that if you go in church and talk to the people, I think that people should be appreciate that because everybody concerned about this deadly thing we're going around right now.
Yes.
You understand? So it's not the safest there, but to me, he go to church. He's not the pastor. If the pastor preach it, he'll be okay.
Oh, so he's a messenger. So he's now seen as a politician taking politics on the pulpit. Is that the way it's been viewed out there?
If he go in there and preaching politics, then it's different. But if it's something the whole world going through And everybody wants to know what's going on with this thing. So if he talk about the vaccine and what he done, so I think it's a good thing.
I'm inclined to agree with you, but we live in a society we have.
In baptized and they were life to Christ. When the roll call up, trust me, a lot of us will be caught up and some people will go left up. Because to me, some of us have something inside and we need to let go and move on. And long live the Prime Minister, and Prime Minister, you keep on doing the good work of the people, and just because of the good work you're doing to the people and the country, God look at you as a good, positive messenger.
Bless you for that. We have just call on the line, so thanks for your contribution. It's well put. I'm in agreement. Call out.
Hello?
Yes.
Comment, please.
Is that started coming from your end?
Oh, yes, sorry.
There's a feedback from your end, so if you're close to your radio, you may want to step back so we can get more clarity. But you're live on Voices. Go ahead.
Yes, two things, please.
Certainly.
One, there's a Chinese store down at the Bay Road, and they have pictures of shoplifters. If you see these pictures, you'll see it's older people who have suffered trauma from when, the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. But these Chinese are allowed to degrade them. I think it's like 3 years. 3 years or so, those pictures have been there. The government should care more for our people, our sufferation, and don't let somebody just come in here and just degrade these people who have paid so much to think it from generations back. That's number one. Are you there?
I'm listening. I'm actually let you make a presentation.
Thank you. That's for your time too. Thank you. Number two, I would say for those who have the capacity, I would say personally, knowing this mother and father Africa story, that they plug in to the African Union, look at the Agenda 2063, the African Agenda 2063. I know you can do your work there, just apply it to just be more positive, conscious. Know it's on firm foundation, Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Rastafari. Bless you, bless you. Yes, bless you. That's it. Do what we can right now, and face to those who have the power, use the power to realize the trauma and realize,
Okay.
as I would say,
For clarity,
has conquered.
we're saying 2063 African Foundation?
African Union.
African Union, 2063.
Agenda, yes, 2063.
Okay.
Serious Constitution, too.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're Chinese using our people this way. It's degrading. It's not good.
I'm going to speak to it because I've seen those pictures there for a very long
time. You shouldn't allow
time.
that to happen. Sorry?
We've all seen those pictures there for a very long time, and I don't know what can be done about it. It's a display of alleged shoplifters that they put there to shame them. But you're right. If they've been there for a very, very long time, that goes beyond that.
Not only that, sir. It's the age of those people and the trauma you can physically, you can sense that they experience in their life. Look at the age.
And your recommendation would be?
You can't do that. You can't allow anyone to shame like that. No.
Okay.
Not our people.
I would hope that the relevant authorities are listening and can approach the persons with a view to have them take them down, whatever it is. Because I understand, because these folks have family members also who will also be shamed by that. There's no need to continue it beyond the fact that if they were caught and whatever, the prosecution would have been. There's no need to keep the pictures up beyond that. So I'm in agreement with you. I can hope that the relevant authorities will try to address it in a way they may call for some diplomacy. I don't know what rights these people have versus whatever. So if it's a case of having some diplomatic address, it should be addressed. I want to thank you for bringing attention to that, because a lot of people take things for granted, just overlook. is a valid concern, and I'm on board with what you're thinking. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
You're much
Yes, sir.
welcome. Okay, so the second caller speaks about the fact that he mentioned a location of a Chinese store that have some pictures of alleged shoplifters on display, and they've been there for some time. He's concerned that these folks are aged persons who would have suffered trauma, and they should not be allowed to be displayed in that manner for this extended period of time. Their families, and of course, it's a stigma that they should not have to live with or face every day, as long as those pictures are continue to be were allowed to be posted. And the first caller spoke about and we have a third caller. Caller 11 Voices, go right ahead. I'm sorry we missed your call. Please feel free to call back. Let me go back to the first caller who spoke about the issue of the Prime Minister making that announcement in the church about already paying $800,000 to secure some vaccination in advance. The issue seemed to be where he said it. I think you go to church to get good news, and he was of the view that you in church, he's always in church, he could share that. Let's take this call and get back to that point. Call 11 Voices.
Socrates, good afternoon.
Yes, my brethren. You're back. Talk to us.
The second caller was my cousin.
Okay. It's good to know that you can hear you. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Riley.
Okay.
Socrates.
Sir.
May go back up my sister. She called you this morning and tell you that the Prime Minister not going to call for that. I go back, she up.
That's
now,
what it's called
here,
Voices.
Socrates.
Go ahead, sir.
Listen, when you're in one club, you can come up with all kind of nice ideas. God's word, I know why you think our God said for do that, that's what you have to do. You get that? When you seek eternal life, I know what you feel and what you think. Our God tell you to do. Listen, did the Prime Minister tell anybody get saved the other day?
I wasn't there.
The Prime Minister tell anybody give their heart to God, turn over their life to Christ?
I'm not sure if he did. I wasn't there. But there's a context.
But you can't go tell about vaccine, right? Socrates, me not laughing. Socrates, the Bible say. Hear what the Bible say.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Knowing the terror, you will compel for people to accept. Just like Socrates, imagine this. Let me demonstrate the scripture to you.
All right, go ahead. Take your time.
People got this thing as a joke. You see, Socrates, when you're healthy, right? You feel good. Soon as a little sickness hold you see how you feel then?
Mm-hmm.
You can remember? Listen.
You're hopeless, you're helpless.
Yes, knowing that, listen, Socrates, one house on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The first thing, anybody run to the house, the first thing that them are going to ask, anybody inside, lie or me tell the truth?
The truth. Life is most important.
Exactly. Then, after that, they will know you try to distinguish the house or whatever the case is. But the first thing you ask for, anybody inside,
the sanctity of life.
You try to save life first.
Correct.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Listen, hellfire, nobody can take you out. You get that?
I see the relation. I see what you're saying.
Exactly. When God said go to hell,
mm-hmm.
nobody can run and take you out. And the fire, the hotter, then the house will be burned.
Okay, dovetail that to the issue of the PM in church making that...
Yeah, right, they may come, but me have to explain first that because we understand exactly what me say. So right, they may come.
All right.
So let me come right there now. So you going to tell you about vaccine. Okay, you ready vaccine? Thank God. you live on, you still not change your life. Where you end up?
But based on the scriptures, yes, we have to say that.
Exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. So my sister right. You should go. They go tell people get their heart to God, and not no vaccine.
Okay. I know he's listening. You know.
Tuesday night when I got on leadership matter day where you should explain that day. Okay then.
Obviously, have a wonderful one to safe over there, right?
Okay.
And wear your mask. I say, have yourself a safe one over there, okay? And we go straight to the lines. Call your live on voices. Good day, caller. Your live on voices. I can hear you there.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Mr. Montserrat, if the Prime Minister go in church and tell people give their life to Christ, he's not a Christian, he's not the pastor. Somebody go back to him and say, you telling me give your life to Christ, give my life to Christ, and you ain't give your life to Christ? You see, Mr. Socrates, I don't want to discuss about the Bible and back and forth because me as a Christian, I going to say how I feel, and who don't ain't a Christian, they're going to say how they feel. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The Prime Minister can go in church, go preach that. He's not the pastor. He's not a Christian. He ain't baptized. Then if he baptized, I need to give my life to Christ. Look, he could come on and say, and the lady from America and Sylvine. So, you know, he's saying what we say is how we say things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a bad idea if he go in church and let the people them know the back. I don't go to church and they preach anything about the corona, the pastor and them.
It's a reality. It was facing us right down and center, front and center. It's people's sensitivities. It's people's or persons and their sensitivities. Their perception of what Christianity is, where and how it should be practiced, and where they think there is a crossing of the line between politics and Christianity. But it sometimes is the messenger and not the message. So we have to weigh all the variables and walk away with, okay, it was done, is a context. You have to look at the context. Is there or was there something fundamentally wrong with him making that statement in that particular setting?
Where the pastor should have come and say, okay, this is not the place. If the pastor agreed with it, why?
All I said was good news.
Yeah, because if it's something bad he was saying, the pastor could have addressed him, but sometimes it just makes things more than why. I don't think it's a bad idea.
Well, from Montserrat's point of view, the vaccination represents a certain mindset as it relates to 666. So they are perhaps saying that he should not be in church talking about something that represents, let's see, the mark of the beast.
Well, how
I'm trying to get it.
How people say that? How people know that?
Well, I'm seeing his train of thought. Rather than tell people, well, get saved, etc., which is the Christian thing to preach, he going to talk about vaccination. That's the way he phrased it. Right? So I'm making a correlation between the vaccination or the mandatory vaccination to be and the what's been described as what will happen when you have to take the mark of the beast. You can't engage in commerce, you can't go here, you can't go there because you're actually marked. And there's a big suspicion that the vaccination contains tracking mechanism. And so there's a suspicion. So maybe from that platform, he's saying, well, he should not be going into church to preach that because it's antichrist.
But
from that context.
If you give your life to Christ, whether you want the vaccination, yes or not, you will have to either take it or leave it.
Well, there's a question.
So you either do or die. It's something that just not over you. You either check it or you just say no. You don't go nowhere.
Well, Diva sang a song on Saturday night called Coffee Day. Right?
I didn't hear it falsely.
Let me give you part of the chorus. She says, no to your vaccination. With your tracking mechanism. Right? Why you want to use my Africa as a test ground? Why not test just Australians or take it back to Wuhan? Be it China or the USA, where you catch a cold COVID day. So it's going to be interesting that the PM has gone and bought X amount of the vaccine for our people here and how people interpret the vaccination Is it something good? Is it anti-COVID? Is it anti-Christ? Is it whatever? So that's the debate I was hoping to get engage people in, and I think I was successful.
Let me tell you here. Let me tell you here. You see this wall here? I don't even know what's going on in this wall.
Voices makes for a healthy debate on either side, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing, right?
Right now, we don't know what's going on with this.
I think we have lost. There's
It's a big deal. The pastor them.
We're losing you on the connection, so if you want to call back on a clear line, we would certainly entertain. But that's it. That's roughly what's going on. The numbers to call are 466-0989-662-0989, and we have a call on the line to speak. Caller, live on Voices. Go ahead.
Socrates.
Back on anything.
Yeah.
Did I represent you? Did I represent? Did I represent what you were saying? What you were thinking?
Now one kind of way, but
okay.
You find that you still don't represent me.
We're still good.
No, I'm serious.
Go ahead.
But listen to me.
Yes, sir.
Listen to me, Socrates.
Yes, sir.
One day like this, me none of this back and forth. So one day like this, me should up on the panel that me could have confront Jackie. You get that?
Yes.
Because this back and forth, me no love this back and forth business. But
And you're supposed to be on vacation, right?
I'm supposed to be on vacation. But Miss Henry says something that Miss Henry need. They don't give Miss Henry some scriptures unless you're gonna see Bible because she's far from the scriptures.
Okay.
Listen to me, Socrates.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You remember the holies of holy?
Not necessarily. No,
you remember before Christ come, when the priest used to have to go and present himself to God, go give an account. And if the priest not live right, remember when you're going, they have to tie a rope and put on balance upon it. Because if you not live right, he's struck down and nobody can go in there, go pull you out. So they have to tie a rope on it.
I misunderstood.
And if the holies of holy, before Christ come.
But I said I missed that in Sunday school.
You know the part of the Bible there?
It's vague. There have been so many parts of your Sunday school days. I ain't gone to church for a long time, so don't embarrass me with it, man.
No, you don't have to go there to church. You see, this is the whole thing. That's why Jackie come and he think. Why not? So you go.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go to the Bible and see what God say, Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing what? The word. None else. Socrates, if you don't know the word of God, you can't please God.
I will call apart.
No, me can't.
I will call apart, but you see, the Bible is a living testament, so it's continuous. You learn every day.
All right, listen to me. So what Jackie said now, he make me argument more stronger. Hear what Jackie say. Jackie said the Prime Minister non-Christian. And Jackie just said that just now?
Yes.
One sinner man, no please God.
But that's her
God,
opinion.
No. Go ahead.
But it's what she said.
Again.
It's what she said, eh? So, you're right. Go ahead.
Exactly. So now Jackie now make me point more stronger, and he make me sister point more stronger. You get the point? So let Jackie come back and rebut again. But that's just the scripture me use. Me not use nothing else. Me not use what me think. I want me think. Our God say for do.
Okay.
You don't obey your discipline. Okay then.
Okay. In passion debate, and I love it. Okay. We're going to take our next call before we break for a word from our sponsors. Caller, you live on Voices.
Good day, Socrates.
You're welcome to Voices. Go ahead.
Yes. Let me ask you a question. If the Prime Minister or any other politician, for that matter, go to our sacred pulpits and speak about politics and do politicking, would you consider that a good thing, bearing in mind the role of the church?
No, but you phrase a question in a particular way, so I'm answering straight no. If you're using the pulpit for politicking, it is not a good thing.
It is not right.
That is correct.
Good. Now, I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you if you think that the Prime Minister uses the pulpit for politicking. I'm sure you have your view on that, and I have mine, and so do all the other members of the public, including the churchgoers themselves. Okay? So I won't put you on the spot with that. But what I would say, and this is a contrary view to some of your callers, bearing in mind the role of the church, bearing in mind the fact that the Prime Minister, like so many other politicians around here, is a divisive figure, not a unifying one, okay? And bearing in mind that he has so many opportunities to talk about a vaccine, okay? So many other forums. He's going into House of Assembly tomorrow. That would be an ideal place for it. Why would he go to our sacred pulpits on a Sunday morning in front of a congregation and talk about a vaccine? Why would this be reported so much in media that is friendly, shall we say, to the Prime Minister? That sounds like politics to me. And with regards to the vaccine, you've pointed out that it's very controversial, okay? And maybe what the Prime Minister was doing was floating a trial balloon to see how it's going to be accepted. An announcement like that would be accepted before he actually goes going to it full blown. But the fact is, the church, and you mentioned that he goes to church, that's fine. That's beautiful, okay? But the way that it is advertised, his entourage and all of that suggests to me that it is more politicking than anything else. Okay, that's the impression I get.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and definitely he should use a different forum for that. Not try and not. He may not be intentionally doing it, but not try to bring any divisive anything to the church. That's my view.
Thank you very much. As promised, we're going to go to our station break at the moment. When we return, I will try to give my opinion on all that was said, okay? So we'll pause for a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Yes, it's the 3 Happy Days free Christmas clearance at Hospice Building and Nevis Centers. This Thursday, November 19th to Saturday, November 21st, with 25% off store-wide on all discountable items. Happy deals, happy savings, happy discounts, happy days at Hospice. This 3 Happy Days weekend, Thursday, November 19th to Saturday, November 21st. 25% off store-wide on all discountable items. Hospice 3 Happy Days for Christmas clearance weekend sale. Thursday, November 19th to Saturday, November 21st. Don't miss it. Happy Days at Hospice. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Hot topic, we go back to the lines. Call your 11 voices. Could they call you 11 voices?
King.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon, the King.
You're 11 direct. Go right ahead.
Okay, man. I like the show Saturday night.
Oh, your site?
Yeah, no. We're listening.
Okay, well, next
I know,
time.
Sorry, go ahead.
Next time, log on so you can actually see. It was
Log
spectacular.
on, and you hear place of flood. You want me drown?
Anyway, you got the mic, so go right ahead.
Okay, yeah. Remember you were supposed to have a show, and Turkey was supposed to be the MC.
That is correct.
Right. I was looking forward to that, but Mr. COVID come in, and he said, look, if I you don't comply the protocol.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do what I have to do.
And so we
Nobody
comply.
wants to dead.
We comply, so we're still here.
Right. Okay, then thank God for that.
Amen.
Now, before 2015 election, the last caller before me, he said that he accused that the Prime Minister should say what he say in the church tomorrow when they got the House of Assembly.
An express opinion.
Right, that's right. He's right to express his opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Or were his ears blocked up or his closed before 2015 election when he leader who he supporting and say he leader never rang yet. When he went in a praise over the way Kayan over day a Sunday, and he in the pulpit preaching politics, telling them vote for Labour because God is a Labour and all that kind of thing. There. Why he never condemn him? Why you know he gonna come
Maybe he did. Who knows?
Maybe, but
If
you know,
you feel that strongly about it, maybe he did.
Yeah, by himself.
Could be.
But he come publicly now, come condemn the Prime Minister.
It's the topic of the day.
Everybody have a right to say what they want to say, but that doesn't mean what everybody says is right.
Okay.
So therefore, he had a big beam in the eye. And he had in the beam when he went no, right now, when he condemned the Prime Minister for use the praise to say what he said about the vaccine. Well, since everybody, I mean, all of them who are against the vaccine, just sail on without your mask, go between the crowd and you will know how badly go.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say this here, you know.
Go ahead.
Hear this here, man. I ain't going in a competition, eh? If you think them a Christian, wait until then I get no collection. And the person heart and him face screw up with vex. Then when the darkness come wrong, he makes some ridiculous move, and you catch him up the cane range having sex. He's only Jah, not even deacon, only Jah alone. Jah alone a Christian.
I need to sign you up in the full legend stat for next year.
Okay.
All right?
Mount Shot, good afternoon.
Okay, here's my view on this thing, okay?
Yeah. I'll get off the phone and listen to you on the radio. Like,
okay.
Right?
Okay, sir. I appreciate that. I can't speak to the context of the comments that the Prime Minister made. I got to take this call. Call the 11 Voices.
Mr. Mount, Chakwati, good afternoon again. I think that's going to be my last call.
We're going to keep it civil. We're going to keep it civil.
Okay.
We're going to keep it
Mr.
civil.
Mount, I said, you saying the Prime Minister should have gone in church and talk about the give your life to Christ. I say, why he ain't going to church and say, give your life to Christ and he ain't a Christian? The first thing people going to say, he ain't a Christian. Why he must telling people to give their life to Christ? That is what I said. You understand? But don't worry, you know, because after us, some of us going to get leave in the unfinished task. The Prime Minister might get caught up in the road because, you know what, some of us, we need to just say what we mean and do what we say. And that's it. Thanks.
Passions running high, this is position declared. I don't know the context in where the good gentleman made a comment. I don't know if he was responding to a question or not. But based on what I'm hearing, knowing let's take the call. Call the 11 Voices.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am splendid. Yourself?
I'm not too bad.
God bless you.
Is,
Yes, sir.
I really want to call in to talk about what people is saying about the politics and the Prime Minister talk about the vaccine in church.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And I'm not seeing it the way people are seeing it. I'm seeing it that it's a national pandemic, a worldwide pandemic. It's a serious situation, and I prefer that the Prime Minister speak about the vaccine in a church than to wait until somebody dead at a funeral to talk about vaccine. It's a health matter that affects everybody. And out of concern, the Prime Minister shared that information with the church and everybody. I don't see it to be
It was not only the church. It's a live broadcast. You're reaching people around the world.
Right. I don't see nowhere to be politics. People, I don't know why they're thinking that way. It's them who's the one who's politicizing the matter now. It's a health matter. It's a crisis. Come on, people.
Two callers back, the callers suggested that the fact that the media is taking it and, like overblowing it, it has to be a political agenda. So
The media is the one who's doing it.
All right.
The Prime Minister out of concern. There's a lot of people who go to church, a lot of elderly people who hardly listen to radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
They don't deal with WhatsApp. They don't deal with Facebook. But they're in church every Sunday. So that is a good way, a good
reaching.
area to talk about it.
So you don't wait until tomorrow in your parliament to address that. You don't buy that. You don't buy that particular commentary had no call in church. Is that what you're saying? Wait until parliament.
No. Hold on. Remember the story between the alligator and the scorpion?
I forget. So educate us. Educate us.
Yeah. I mean, come on. The Prime Minister, he's the Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm.
You invite the Minister of Religion to do the funeral. He preached at the funeral. You invite him to he preach. That's what he does. He preach. He talks about the word of God.
He's a layman.
And if his Prime Minister take the opportunity to say something to the nation, I don't see it out of place. I'm sorry. I can't agree with some of those callers.
Okay. I know the gentleman is very versed in the scriptures, and I don't want to be defending anyone, but I see nothing wrong with that as it comes down to context. Okay? And his platform is global because it's not only in the church and that congregation, you're limited to that, but being having access to the mass media, that was a message taking an opportunity to reach out to everybody. Had the congregants got up and walked away and said this is politics, then you have a case. They will be justified if they view it as such. But then, and he's always in church. I find it's a familiar setting for him to disseminate information that affects the lives of everybody across the globe. Our nationals here at home. People need to know.
Exactly. So I don't see it as politics. I see it as sharing some real important health information.
I mean, we engage the church and complain that the church are not involved in this. We complain the CIC is not involved with the church. Now they're engaged. He engages them. It's part of the national dialogue. To me,
I go to churches where the ministers of religion speak a lot of politics at times. And some people don't comment on it.
Some years ago, I went to stand up as a godfather for a child at a christening in the church. The pastor left the pulpit, came down, took out Socrates' earring. The pastor left the pulpit, came down and took out my earring and put it in my hand. Well, this is my church, you can't wear your earring in my church. I figure, cool, no problem. And I'm thinking, you don't know the history of the African. You don't know why you wear them, but you left the pulpit, came down, take out your earring, take out my earrings. Okay, it's your church. I stayed around for the questioning, and then when I left, I put them on. His church, his rules.
I understand that. But on the other hand, I mean, he talked about the cost of the vaccine.
Yep.
But I'm still waiting for the World Trade Organization, the IMF, and those institutions to say they want to put in X amount of millions of dollars to help the third world countries, to help the small countries. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what people should talk about. What are these people doing? What are these institutions doing to help poor countries?
Valid question. Valid question, but that's because we give them control over our fate. We have to wait for them to make a determination which way we're going.
They should have done come out. They should have come out. These are institutions, the World Bank, the IMF, and these institutions.
Those people try to cripple Cuba. They tried to cripple Cuba. They put their sanctions on Haiti. They're still surviving. So we want to risk of going down those narrow avenues where we depend on them. We become dependent on them to tell us when to breathe. So we within the Caribbean Basin have to look at ourselves for future development, not to them. Cuba survived all the sanctions.
But this pandemic, everybody must put a helping hand. Everybody must put a helping hand. And I could imagine you have a vaccine and so much countries can't afford to pay for vaccine.
Have you heard about the successes in Africa when it comes to COVID-19? No. In Cuba, no. But we're trending in one direction because they have all the answers and we have to follow the protocols and the regulation. We have to be careful with that. But question: would you accept the vaccination?
Me, of course.
Okay.
Of course I'll accept it. We've been getting vaccines since we're small. Yeah, there's nothing perfect. Since we're small, and 99% of the time, it's effective.
I have my scar for my measles and my mom's vaccination, but that's because our parents did it. Today I'll have to question the validity and the origins because there are agendas out there that doesn't have our best interest at heart. But that's me. But in terms of the remarks from the platform, the pulpit, I don't see it. Well, I wasn't there. I really can't judge it. But based on the conversation, I don't view it as politicking from the pulpit. That is me. I may be wrong, but I don't know.
Go with you, sir.
Pardon?
Deeply. I really share the same views that you share. And I really would like people to look at it differently. And, some of the people I listen calling is people who were so silent before. Now they have a big voice. They were very silent before.
It's called democracy. It's called your choices.
Democracy. Well, democracy is not the best policy around the world. I can tell you that.
On paper, it is.
Yeah?
It's a human factor. On paper,
yeah.
it is. It's a human factor.
This part of our world, we are fed with one basically Christianity. In some other part of the world, it's a different beliefs, a different look at things.
We're educating ourselves. Question: were you part of the lineup at the work at the airport when the flight came in?
Not yet. My vehicle is not COVID ready as yet. I'm working on it though.
But you're working on it.
Yeah.
So you will join the queue. What about the feedback from those who work? Are you having any feedback?
I haven't discussed it with anybody. I'll be honest with you, but I'll be happy to,
But have you heard any complaints apart from the feedback? Have you heard any complaints about the smoothness of the operation?
I haven't spoken to anyone that work at the airport. But for me, there isn't even much work at the airport to start with.
Well, the figures were that there was 148 persons expected from the flight on Saturday. And they only had like 32 taxis ready at the time of the conversation. Right? Wally told me to make sure I don't go on the radio and let nobody bash taxi drivers. So I'm trying to get information out there that would, So I asked him if he want to come and join me. He says, if he come and join me, if we're even trying out.
On the other hand, we have an industry that is greatly affected by the COVID-19, and some people getting bailed out, and we have a business that need bailout too.
Yes.
In some areas, so I've heard a lot of negative comments and that people saying, and and it's just been one side. I think a lot of people out there just start bashing taxi drivers about certain things. I don't even want to repeat it. Right? And I think it's very negative, and there's a possibility that
So, do you have a dedicated PR officer? Do you have a dedicated PR officer? You don't have one?
Socrates.
Yes, sir.
I want to weigh on something else.
Go right ahead.
Yes. The
NEOC.
NEOC, is it?
Yes, task force, yes.
Yes. I got a problem with some of the decisions they are making along with the police in terms of permission to have functions. Because, I'll be honest with you, I went to a function on Saturday night. Okay?
I'm listening.
Where there were a number of people. Music, and, and they get permission to do it. But I was invited to a graduation a long time ago, and they said not even the parents could attend a graduation. I mean, you send your children school or your child's school for so much years, and the final thing from college graduation, this is CFB I'm talking about, And it's not even a payroll school attend.
But here's the question. You said a long time ago. Was the time span between that?
Very one-sided.
Was the time span between that graduation and Saturday night?
What's the difference?
The time span. You said a long time ago. Was it last week? Was it the same weekend?
I went out on Saturday.
Now the graduation, was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago when there were different
No, it ain't happened yet. It ain't happened yet.
Oh.
It ain't happened yet. But what I'm saying,
okay.
At graduation, you have more control. People are seated. You put on masks. You sanitize. You do all the necessary stuff. You could do your social distancing. But yet, you're not allowed to attend the graduation for your child after so much years of schooling, and the child graduate at the
That needs further conversation, definitely.
And so I wonder what the guy Samuel and the commissioner and them, what they're really doing. What is the criteria?
Yatters, we were told.
To have a dance.
Uh-huh.
Right? And the graduation, it's unfair. They need to immediately look at it and give people permission to go to graduation.
Okay.
You got church. You got funeral.
Yeah.
And you can't go to graduation? Come on, man.
But here's what. For our show,
You can't get people to graduation?
for the Calypso tent on Saturday night in Warner Park, we were told that only the artists would be allowed. You could not bring a friend at all. So we were not allowed to carry a friend. And we thought, well, it's big enough to entertain, more bodies. We were told just the artists. So on that I had issues, but of course.
I don't want to call the names, but the institution, department that gives permission are being very, very unreasonable. Very unreasonable.
Okay.
And I mean, when you look at it, you're wondering what really happening. What is really happening? You could give somebody permission to have a dance and to have a church and to have all kind of other things. We jump on the buses and then something that you can have fully control over with social distancing, wearing your mask, sanitizing. Something that is so important.
So based on what you're saying, that rationale don't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
And that is why when people come on the air and they pretend to be serious and they got on their jacket and their tie, and you feel like they're making right decisions. So I wonder what is the right decision?
Well, I would suggest
if I were in charge,
that
I would
you
have fired the guy.
follow up.
Be honest
You
with you.
follow up.
If I was in charge, the guy, whoever giving permission, not giving permission for the graduation, I will fire somebody because
That's a
somebody
question.
doing real nonsense.
Are you giving me first-hand information or somebody tell you?
It's facts.
Yeah, but did you get it first-hand from the NEOC?
About the
Did they ask for certain requirements for
I
yes?
get it from the college.
From
I
the
get it from
college.
the college.
Oh.
The college, they are making preparation. It's on email that you can, the parents can't come.
Okay.
Only the student, and they still got a renter going for $400. So what you going to put the student and in this condition to rent a going for $400 and the parents them can't come?
Okay.
And this can't happen and that can't happen.
That's an interesting point. We're coming down to.
It was on the air. It was on the air where they say you could pay. It was even on the air where they say they're making an arrangement with the student. You can pay in installment if they can't afford it.
For the guns?
Yeah.
Well, I would say that needs further debate. We got about 28 minutes past the hour of 1, and you had a wonderful plus. I'm glad for your contribution. Yeah.
You take care, man. You take care. All the best.
I'm saying sir.
All the best. All the best, man.
28 minutes down from the 1 o'clock hour. We wrap up here at just about 1:30 p.m. I think would have missed a call on the line. It's been a very interesting morning. You have a call on the line? Okay. We discussed what took up the brunt of the discussion was the $800,000 a PM would have paid towards that organization in advance of vaccine. The issue seemed to be, one of contention is the way he did it and the perception that he was politicking, etc. And we went back and forth on that. We had the religious perspective that he should not. We had a wonderful debate. I'm not laughing at anyone's contribution, but it's very interesting. And levity sometimes helps to get past, little challenges. Mr. McMahon, of course, I appreciate your contribution, your point of view. I don't take it lightly. You are a concerned citizen. You are concerned about some things. Welcome to make a contribution anytime. Want to say it's been a wonderful day. Want to thank all the folks on the listening and viewing platforms who made the contributions and not voices. Want to wish you a very pleasant week, rest of the week. And God's willing, I'll be back on Monday. In the meantime, between time, peace, love, and a much better tomorrow. Stay safe, stay COVID-free, stay healthy. Bye now.
You found the sound.